I saw a fellow online friend post that their business website domain had been compromised and the site had ultimately been taken down. Now, I was like, "What?" And they showed the whole they showed some screenshots from the email thread of the individual asking, she asked, "Hey, how can I get this domain back?" And the person said, "You need to pay $1,000." And it was like, "Forget that. You're not about to scam me out of $1,000." So they went ahead and bought a new domain. And those of us who are in tech, as well as some other friends, commented like, "How is this possible?" and so forth. I put in there that, hey, you need to make sure that you have domain privacy enabled, and if you do have it, you need to make sure that they're actually making sure that that domain is considered to be private as far as the registration information goes. A lot of people that buy domains don't necessarily understand how the domain registration system works. So tonight, to get into too technical of a detail, let's talk about what happens when you actually buy a domain and some of the requirements associated with you buying a domain. My name is Kenny, and I thank you for checking out this video. We are talking tech about domain registration privacy and why you need it. If you have not already, please be sure to subscribe and follow for more content like this related to tech. Now, this is the website that was compromised. hairbyjamil.com is the actual domain name. So what I did was to put the domain name in here to see what the whois record is for this domain name. Now, this shows that who owns the domain, right? So you can go in here, you can see what name servers this maps to. So as you see, this maps to cloudflare.com name service. It has two different ones here. You can also see when this domain was created, when it expires, and when it was last updated, and also whether the transfer can be done of a domain name. So you can buy a domain name from one company and have it transferred to another company for whatever reason that you choose. But only the owner is allowed to do that, and there's a whole process of doing domain transfers, but I'm not going to get into that. Just note that in this particular case, transfers are prohibited, which should be prohibited by default. Now, the whois record explains who owns this domain. It has all this other information here. Now, this one doesn't show everything that you can possibly see. It's only showing a minimum subset, if you will. Now, there is more information that can be displayed, and I will show you an example of that in a moment. But as you see, you got a domain ID, who is the registrar that is the authority over the domain, right? So every domain name has to go through a registrar, and a registrar has to be authorized by ICANN, which is the internet authority over the internet. That domain registrar has to go through them in order to register it. One of the requirements of registering a domain name is that the information for that domain name, such as the name of the owner, the address, email address, phone number, etc., be also provided with the registration. In an example, this would be like when you apply for a job. They're going to ask you for your name, for your phone number, for your address, for your email, and references, and so forth. So all of this information has to be required, and because domain names are considered to be like public, if you will, the registration information is also considered to be public too. Now, let me show you a different example of what this looks like. Now, this is the business website that I own, rhtservices.net. As you see, we have the name server information, which is through InMotion hosting, the history of when it was created, when it expires, and so forth. But then when we come down here to the whois record, you will see there is a lot more information on this particular whois record than it was on the other one. Now, the registrar can do the whois record differently, but ultimately they have to have the registrant information on file, even if it's set for privacy. In my particular case, I have it set to privacy. Now, why is this the case, and how were they able to compromise that domain name? All right, so when you come to look at this, you can see everything about the person who signed up for this domain name. Normally, if you do not select the privacy option, you will see the name, the company, if it is associated with one, street address, country, phone number, email address. Now, how is a scammer able to compromise a domain name? That's a great question. So here you see the reseller is InMotion Hosting. You also see that the name servers are associated with InMotion Hosting. Here's the thing. Most people, when they buy a domain name, they also buy the hosting from the same provider. Now, it is possible to buy a domain name from one provider and then the hosting from a different provider. But again, the majority of people don't do that. Now that I know the name servers as well as the reseller, I can then say, well, this domain name is probably owned or is registered through InMotion Hosting, which in this case it is. So then I can say, hey, I can take that information, call them up, and when they ask me what is the email address registered, what is the phone number registered, who is it registered to, and all this other information associated with this particular domain name, I've now passed the majority of, if not all of those authentication checks to say I am the owner of the domain name. From that point, I can then say I need to transfer this domain to so and so other hosting company so that now I have full control over it. And that's what happened in this particular case of the hairbyjamil.com website. So now that this other person or the scammer now has control over the domain name, they can now go in and change the name server, which is Cloudflare, and then they can put their own site up and say, hey, I own this site now. Here's the stuff that I got on it. Seems very foul, but this is what happens all the time, and hence why domain name registration privacy is important. Now, I kind of looked at this page because they created their own website for the website that they took over. And as you see, they have a Gmail email address. The quote goes to that email, but they also have these various social media sites. And in clicking one of these, it goes to another page that they also own the domain name for. So they're linking to other domain names that they could then offer you. So it's kind of like, hey, I'm gonna steal this, but then I'm also offer you other stuff that I've stolen. Pretty foul if you really think about it. But this is how domain names are compromised. Now, from a business perspective, what does this look like? Well, I say this. For me, domain name protection is probably going to run you between $5 and $20 per billing cycle. If you renew your domain name on a yearly basis, that's how much you'll pay. So hypothetically, let's say your domain privacy registration costs you $15 per billing cycle, right? Now, if your hourly rate, let's say it's $60 an hour as a business owner, right? So for every 15 minutes, it will cost you, for 15 minutes of your time, it will cost you $15 to register that domain privacy, right? Because if your hourly rate is $60 per hour and that domain privacy is $15, that's a fourth of an hour. That's a fourth of your hourly rate. And I know this math is a lot, but that $15 is a fourth of your hourly rate. So that is 15 minutes of your time to enable domain registration privacy. Now, how long does it take to set up a brand new website? Most people say they can do it in a week. Some people say they can do it in a day. Your typical business owner is not going to be able to do a brand new website, buying domain names, setting up pages. If it's an online store, setting up products. And in this particular case, it is an online store where she sells various hair-related products. That's not going to be done in a week, right? So now you have to say, all right, I can spend 15 minutes of time, because time is equal to money. You've heard that thing. Time is equal to money. Money is the root of all evil, and so forth. So there's an equation there. So if I can spend 15 minutes and add domain registration privacy to prevent this from happening, or I could spend, if it takes you, let's say, a week to build your business website and you're working on it 8 hours a day, that's 40 hours in a normal business week, which if you convert that to, that's 15 minutes, and good grief, I should not have gotten into this, but you get the point, right? You're spending 40 hours to rebuild a brand new website, or you could have spent 15 minutes to pay for protection to prevent your website from being compromised or reducing the chances of it being compromised. Which would you pick? Most people will say they'll take the 15 minutes over the 40 hours, especially if you are an entrepreneur or business owner, right? Every minute you spend working in your business, and I mean in the business, like the administrative type stuff or the behind the scenes type stuff, is less time that you have to spend doing the business, meaning creating new products or getting shipping orders, or even just doing the work that your clients needs, right? So time is money, as we just discussed. And so that $15 or 15 minutes worth of time is far less than the 40 hours worth of time, if not more, that you would need to set up your business website. And that's why it's important for you to have domain privacy protection enabled on any domain that you build and or create. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully you've learned something in this. If you have any comments or questions about domain privacy or just tech in general, feel free to leave those down below. I'll be glad to respond to your comments and may even use your comments in a future video discussion. Thank you for watching. Please be sure to subscribe and follow.